John Swan, how are you? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
I wasn't talking yet, and I also didn't switch my mic on.
Wait, so you were just pantomiming just now to fuck with me, and then you switched your
No,
mic?
you said I can't hear you, and then I said I'm not talking yet, and then
For real though, you didn't. Okay.
I didn't do. No, you said I can't hear you, and I heard you, and then I said I'm not talking
No,
yet.
disagree.
But
I swear
then
to God, I saw your mouth move.
no, but I didn't switch the mic on when I said I'm not talking yet, so that's what you thought was the pantomime. But nah, yeah, I
Uh,
wasn't starting off with a bit. Yeah, nah.
said was that you were not talking yet, but the bit is that I couldn't hear you say that, so.
Yeah, you thought I was like
Uh,
nah.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
nah, nah.
what's up? It's John Swan.
What's up, yo? How you doing?
Good. I freaking like how pink your room is right now.
Yeah, I got one of those hue lights. So I set up the scheme to match my shirt and match my turbo booster.
And also check out that like rover shirt hanging in the background. That's so nice.
Usually over there, but
You put it
fitted.
in there because you knew like you like your set deck. Like
Yeah, all sorts of stuff here.
that's too sick. And a telescope to look at the stars.
How I'm living. Yeah, you got a sign on your door. What is yours? What do you have? A paper sign on your door? Where you going?
Listen, I put this sign on my door when I ran one show at my house and I'm never gonna do it again.
This is in memoriam.
Yeah, well, the sign says bathroom, please keep it clean. It was meant really just for that night, but then I kind of left it there because I was like, it's kind of cheeky. Like, no matter who comes here, I want them to know, please keep it clean.
Have your guests been keeping it clean?
You know, mostly. Sometimes some of the guys they get a little lazy.
As they do. They might have been tired out.
Can you explain to me this like masculinity thing with like needing to stand while you pee? I don't get it.
I've always been a sitter.
A lot
Yeah.
of masculine men I know are literally sitters. They sit.
Like I don't know if it's yeah. I mean, but that could be a laziness thing, maybe the lack of masculinity, because like I don't want to be standing. Like
effort to aim or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like peeing is a break. So I mean, y'all got it right. Y'all get to sit down and chill, and I got to use my legs. If anything, you know what? It's not us. We didn't want to do this. Whoever invented urinals and made us stand up from the jump led into it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
There could just be all toilets in the bathroom. That's my favorite thing when people go to like bathrooms at places I work and they say, "Oh, is this the women's or the men's bathroom?" I go, "They both have toilets. Like you're good." You know?
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, the whole creation of urinals is just to facilitate standing while peeing. So it kind of makes that seem like that's how it should be.
Exactly. And then like that leads to all this sword fighting and shit and like preschool and all that stuff, which I don't know if that's toxic masculinity or not, but like it was fun. Like we were kids, we just like, let's piss on each other's piss.
Are you kidding? Is that really?
No, you knew this.
Boys are insane. No,
you knew. You've never heard of that?
No.
No, when you're like 5, like, you because back in the day, like, like urinals were like troughs in like elementary school and stuff. It's more so there's like no separation, so you could see each other's urine and you'd sword fight. You'd just like piss on each other's piss.
I mean, it kind of does sound fun. I'll be frank. There was one time me and I made friends with this girl in like kindergarten who moved in 2nd grade. Ultimately, she also became an engineer. Anyway, we both one day I remember were like trying to pee like boys in the women's bathroom and
didn't work.
No, but it just it's funny to me that and the overlap of like choosing a traditionally male trade of like engineering. It's like no wonder the girls who tried to pee like boys in kindergarten also
like you tried your best, but you just couldn't do it like a boy.
And to be frank, it like the metaphor maps onto engineering for me too. I'm like, I'm just so sick of going to work and fighting with these guys all the time. Like,
it's so weird because, like, I mean,
I feel like I'm sword fighting still in that profession. I'm like sick of like just like I don't even give a shit about the sword fight, so I don't like be there.
Like this is probably bad, but like gonna catch me flack, but like you're fighting with like all these, you always talk about like this masculine engineering world, but I mean, I might maybe a hater, but are these just a bunch of dweebs you're fighting with?
Well,
yeah, dweebs are cool. I mean, they're great, but like,
I think I have kind of maybe some ego issues, largely due to the masculine energy in my natal chart. Okay, here's the woman in me coming to explain the man in me is like, I have a lot of like Aries in my chart, and that makes a person aggressive. I also have a fear of being taken advantage of and a fear of being vulnerable and relying on people. So I tend to do a lot of kind of things where I like to like dunk on people and flex on them, but it's largely out of my insecurity.
yeah, same here. I mean,
not that I like to do it. It's just that I'm like, I feel like as long as I'm like outscoring you, if you hurt me, I get to go, but look, my score is higher, and then go to bed at night.
yeah. I guess I was about to say I'm not insecure, but that's possibly the most insecure thing to say. But but like, yeah, but I know what you're saying. I definitely don't want people to take advantage of me, or like, I don't know if it's a masculine thing or just because I don't want to be bullied. Also, we can get into it. I used to always call it ex-Napoleon complex. But like, as far as like, if I have a meeting with a boss where I think I'm gonna get fired, or I'm in a position of like whatever, if they ask me to sit, I definitely do that. I'll stand.
Yeah. Because I'm not about to take this sitting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take this sitting. Yeah. And also, like, I'm higher than you. Like, yeah, their chair's probably a little higher.
It's really funny. Like I guess the concept of masculinity and femininity, and not necessarily needing to do with whether you're like a man or a woman. Like, I think both genders have both, but also the way that it's like is sometimes like mismatched into like just dominance in general. It always like masculinity means dominance. I don't think that's true, but I think it can be perverted into that.
I think it definitely can mean that, but also, it's just, I think it's just power dynamics in general, just because I think people who know they have power over you, or have supposedly have power over you, like appointed power, like as in like bosses and things.
Manager,
women, or male, female, woman, anyone who has anyone, however you identify, if they feel that have that power over you, they assert it. And then like, although I know it is kind of bad, because it's like, when as a man I feel more, oh man, this is bad, but whatever, it is what it is. It's like, if a man like who I think is a boss of mine, I have a lot of trouble with male bosses because of the masculine thing and the power thing. And then at the end of the day, it's like the masculinity thing where it's like, well, I can fight you, male boss.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
with a woman, you wouldn't even want to.
I wouldn't even want to. And I just want to listen, just because most of my best friends and the role models and figures in my life have been women that I've looked up to, versus more of the male in my life have been either absent or assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess can relate to what I was saying earlier. I have to think of ex-Napoleon complex.
Yeah, where's like ex-Napoleon? It's like,
I shot up when I was 19.
Yeah.
In height and weight.
So you were shorter and smaller until you were 19. So you had maybe late puberty, I guess, or late puberty, but puberty.
Yeah, I guess so, because it was like, I literally remember my weight and height, because I was on the wrestling team for a little bit in the smallest like weight class, because I had to weigh myself all the time, and then also because I was just shorter than everyone else, and just like, I didn't really start dating till later or anything like that, just because I was just this little pipsqueak that nobody wanted to date, but like I was really funny and hung out with people that you wanted to date, so we were still cool.
Hey, but like, that's the game.
Yeah, like I literally like graduated high school at like, I think 5'4", 103 pounds. Went into high school at 88 pounds, 5'2".
Wow.
And then like now I'm like 5'10" and $152. I filled out.
You're a heavy hitter. No, I know.
I filled up.
Yeah, but I was always tall, but I was like always rail thin for a long time. And I had like a weird dysmorphia because I was so rail thin that when I just was like a normal like woman shape, I was like, I'm fat. But it's like, no, I just was
Yeah.
rail thin for so long that when I suddenly wasn't, I was like, what's wrong?
I had dysmorphia. I always thought I was bigger than I was because I guess my personality was, but I wasn't. But like, I mean, like with ex-Napoleon comics, once I shot up in height, I remember the people that used to fuck with me because I was small. And like, so now any conversation I would get in with a guy, like, well, I'm a size now. Try it now. Like, I'm not a little guy anymore. But like, so the inside, but like, yeah, I always thought I was like swole and stuff. And like, I'm still like, yeah, if on paper, I'm not swole. I've never said that.
But I know what it's like to have like delusions of grandeur regarding your self-image.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I even sometimes feel this like just come fight me energy at people. I don't know what it is. It's part of actually what I always kind of connected with you. I remember just always kind of liking your like what I would say is like a consistent like hip hop attitude towards everything in your life, including the natural inclements like the snow. Every year it's winter and it snows and I go, get off me snow, get off me snow. Just literally referencing that video you made several years ago.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it's so funny.
And it's fitting. It's like, people are like, the snow's coming down. I'm like, yeah, get off me, man. Don't let the snow take you. Don't let the snow bring you down.
On my shoulder, like, I don't know who you think you are, just like gently floating down and landing here as though like because you're floating whimsically, you're allowed on my body.
Oppressive white flakes just dropping on me, trying to keep me from where I'm going.
Oh,
no.
Wow. I forgot about the racial element of it. It is so true. It's so true. There's the black snow. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah, it's nowhere. Yeah. So I have that. I've always had the hip hop approach. Like even as much as when I was doing like improv and stuff like that, it's like I guess like Zoob, my ex, well not my fucking ex, but like we're still my ex improv partner, my comedy partner, not like
ex in a way.
Well, like he's in Florida, he's gone now, but like I used to tell him, don't go shake everyone's hand. Like when we'd go into like a comedy show at one of the theaters, I'd like let them come to you, man. Like because we'd go to like he grew up in a b-boy background. I grew up in like a hip hop b-boy background. We didn't go into like competitions and battles. Granted, improv wasn't a competition, but like you're running past a person when you run past a person. You don't need to, hey, like. Yeah,
you don't have to go out of your way to like introduce yourself to people.
You do not have to go out of your way to introduce. Yeah, and especially like, I mean, a smile and a nod from across the room is fine.
I mean, honestly, you're really smart with that. I've only recently kind of learned that because I'm just actually kind of an outgoing person, I discovered. But it's like, in some settings, people just misinterpret that as weakness. And I'm like, realizing like easy to make the choice to conserve my energy and not like let people mistake me for a simp just for the fact that I'm outgoing. It's unfortunate it has to be that way, but it's how it is.
Yeah, it is. But it's like, I mean, I'm super outgoing, but it's like when you get in the vicinity, I'll be outgoing. I don't need to go
within a certain radius. Like get
yeah, like arm's length. And I'd be like, yo, get this hug.
Yeah. Or something. How has life been for you though since Core started? I remember when I ran into you last, or I came by the bar you're working at last summer. It was funny because I feel like you were less COVID conscious and I was more COVID conscious.
You were very COVID conscious, yeah.
And I find that really funny because I feel like now it's sort of tables flipped and I feel like you're a little bit more of a good boy and I'm a bad girl, so.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, possibly. I mean, I guess.
Are you still DJing and stuff? Like, are events still happening? Like, what's been going on since winter?
In the winter, most of my work has been through Zoom, through like a immersive art show called Eschaton, which is like theater arts, burlesque comedians, yada, yada, yada. All this stuff through Zoom. I've been teaching a little through Zoom, but also teaching in person. But no, like I haven't been DJing out since the trailer park things. Like we were doing an outdoor event towards the end of the summer.
That was cool, by the way. That concept,
it was the bomb.
I want it. Is it gonna start again? I want to
go. Yeah. So our boy took the trailer down to Miami because it's Miami and shit's popping there. But we're gonna get it back. But I haven't been DJing out like that. But not to say I wouldn't. I just haven't. Because like there are socially responsible events going on and also socially not responsible events going
Miami
on.
looks like people are like pure rabies right now, which I like personally. I'm
Pure
scared,
what?
but I like it. Like just
Pure.
any of the videos I've seen circulating on social media of Miami right now in the last few weeks is like just parties like everywhere, all over the street.
Yeah, they don't really
Like,
yeah, I haven't made it down yet, but a lot of my friends have gone back and forth, and there's definitely an underground scene in New York of things that are frowned upon happening. But so yeah, like I guess you think I'm being good just because I told you I got a vaccine. But like I'm if I'm being realistic, I've been out there a little bit, and that's my choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool. Always interesting, your body, your choice, right?
My body, my choice.
I like that kind of logic applied to really any medical.
I love it. Like
it's really, because at the end of the day, it is like,
it allows me to live reckless.
Yeah, and if you don't like reckless, then don't come around. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I'm pretty like responsible. Like I wear my mask in public, and I live alone, so I personally don't want to get the vaccine, and I'm happy so many people do because I probably
and that's fine. Like you don't want to get the vaccine, and that's okay.
Wow, that's nice of you. I haven't heard that from many people, but
yeah, they're haters.
I don't know. I think there's just maybe a fear of like my opinion about my body. For some reason, people conflate that with how they should feel about their choice. Like they get insecure. Like they need me to make the same choice about mine for them to feel. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess too, it's like yeah, COVID is a real thing, and I definitely believe it's true. But I also I mean, I have a good health, and the way I live my life outside of some recreational things is pretty healthy. But it's also like I like the fact that if I also, on a side note to getting the vaccine, just because I don't really care if it hurts me. I do a lot of things that could possibly hurt me, and that's fine. But I like the fact that I can't be really judged, just like how I don't believe voting really works, but I voted, so fuck you. I can talk about how the shit doesn't change anything, but I did vote. I can talk shit about fuck it, we'll all be fine, but I did get a vax.
I remember, I feel like something we both used to do years ago was sometimes go to Chelsea Piers for their adult recreational activities.
Yes.
I used to do the gymnastics classes sometimes. What did you do?
Did you know how to flip and stuff?
Did I know how to flip is a good question. I definitely could do where you do the back bends and you walk over.
Oh, nice. From standing?
I was one of the more beginner gymnastics people. I'm really not that good. I just like to try things, and I love physical tricks a lot.
Physical tricks?
Like trying to hold a handstand to me is fun. It's not that I really want to hold a handstand so badly as I enjoy the process of trying to. And
it's not really a handstand or a trick, but you was pretty nice with the push-ups, right?
Hey,
I seen you. You was nice with the push-ups. I seen them. I liked them.
Were they okay? Because
they were good.
Mixed, men are always trying to tell you you're either good or bad based on their motives. They're like, that's bad, that's good. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know about the form, but you did them,
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Push-ups are great. I mean, I do certain body weight things. It makes you feel very much I don't need anything.
Yeah, it's just me. I could lift myself if I was hanging from a cliff. Could pull myself up. I did rock climbing at Chelsea Piers. That's one thing. There we go.
Climbing is fucking fun.
Climbing was dope.
Again.
Wait, what?
I just miss all the fucking play things. I want to do dance classes, I want to do pole classes, I want to do climbing, I want to do gymnastics.
All this stuff is open. What are you doing?
Is it?
Yeah, Metro Rock, dude. This is rock climbing. I went to the Cliffs so far in Queens. Metro Rock. There's a Bushwick climbing gym. You wear a mask and
I
stuff?
always just thought April 2 was the day that everything was opening up and that everything was still closed. I'll check it out.
Where's that date from? What is that?
Somebody I don't really listen to news. I just listen to my friends talk about the news because
Zach said it.
Addictive and anxiety invoking,
Yeah.
So I'd rather listen to my friends talk about it than
look at something.
Honestly, ever since the election, I would just call up my friends and go Can you tell me what happened today?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, I mean, that's how, I get most of my news, even as much as the weather. I make mistakes a lot of not knowing it's going to rain or be cold, and then I just deal with it. And I guess, I don't know. Chelsea Piers, I used to have a membership there. I used to run into Cameron Kaepernick there, gave him a little nod every now and then.
Oh,
he used to work out
there too.
This was like maybe like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Now, well, since last year fucked everything up, probably 2.5 years ago now, just because you don't really consider last year a year. But it took me a while to like realize it was tall guy, Colin and Kaepernick, and I just look at him, but like I didn't say anything because you can't really say anything to anyone in a gym. But then finally I looked at him and he looked at me and gave me it was him. He confirmed it was him.
Yeah.
And as cheesy as it is, I gave him a black fist, like not even proper like yours. Like I was like more of like a yes.
Oh man, well that's cool. Sightings are the dream. I wanted to ask you more about like your actual like background as a DJ, because I know a lot of people who are DJs, but like you feel like a DJ, if you know what I mean. Like not just a DJ, but a real DJ. Why do I have that feeling? Is it because of the physicality and the analogness? As a person who's not really that familiar with what you do, I'm like, what he does just seems to be so much more like physical than other DJs doing, which feels more like this.
It's just like where you came from, because like I don't hate on that. I hated on that for many years, probably earlier on in my DJ life, just because it was go
for it.
Because I'll start off like there is that button, because at the end of the day now it comes down to playing good music, and if you know how to like read a crowd and the flow of it, that's the end game for certain aspects. But back in the day when I started, it was vinyl, it was records. I was 15, so I've been DJing over 20 years. None of that stuff really existed, so you have to physically pick up a record, put things on, you have to physically touch things, use your ear, not a screen.
It's so cool though. I love that. That is really, I mean, it's a different talent. I respect that you're not hating on the people who do it in a different, more modern electronic way, but like,
but that's the fun part to me.
Do it.
Like, that's the fun part to me. Like, I can DJ and all the other stuff too, but this is what's fun to me was because I started off not caring about that much about the music and like DJing for people. It was more just about like scratching and some hip hop shit, very competitive. I was doing like DJ battles and things like in competitions. Like I was actually like flying around when I was like 19, like winning shit, losing shit. So like I come from that, it came from that. And then after that kind of fizzled out a little bit, like the love for competitions, I started just DJing for parties and things more. And then the competition.
What is a DJ battle like? Like, I feel like a rap battle, you can kind of tell more clearly who's winning because it's so personal, but like a DJ battle, like how do you know who wins?
It's weird. It kind of gets tricky because people can get really technical and nerdy, and stuff can be over the crowd's head, or some people will be like DJing and you can tell they're concentrating and doing something really hard and whatever, but you don't really know what's going on. But then like I found a nice balance of technical and engaging with the crowd just because that's who I am.
Yeah.
But then some people can engage with the crowd so much they think it's cheesy and a gimmick. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like you just have to find that balance, because I want it to be accessible for people, but then also kind of nerdy and dope so people
like you want to lead them, but you want to also respect what they need, right?
For sure. So I still use that approach to this day, even when I'm not battling and doing that many like technical skills, but I'm just like playing for people. And like as cheesy and dopey as it sounds, like your energy really does translate. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not that I'm upping my energy, excuse me, COVID, so people can get it.
Get it?
It's a virus. It goes through the computer. So people can. I just naturally have a lot of energy, so it just translates.
Last time I saw you, in an element like that, I feel like I'd never seen you perform live, was like the Colossal Halloween party.
Oh yeah.
2019, I guess.
Yeah, that was 2019. You've never seen me like, because I guess when we met, I was just like showing my Quickie Fest videos and was just kind of, I think I just came out of a hernia surgery. So I was swagging, but I wasn't moving too much.
Right. And I always liked the energy of your comedic work so much. And I remember that you were one of the people who kind of like encouraged me to be crazier. And I just kind of liked that. I feel like you just like encouraged me to be more chaotic, because I remember loving the chaotic videos much more. And they tended to be made by, you guessed it, musicians.
Yeah. I think some comedians get too heady, I think sometimes too, because I mean, some comedians do some. You can tell like which comedians are just making what bonkers shit they fucking want to make, and they think it's funny. Just like you can tell a musician who's like, I can produce music that's for a job that fits your mold or fits something that's required from me, but then also I can make the music I want to make, and then just trust whoever's gonna like it's gonna like it, whoever's not is gonna not. Right. And same thing with their comedy. It's like most of my shit was like, Zoob thinks it's funny, like my comedy partner, I think it's funny,
and that's enough.
At the end of the day, if it's that's enough. And at the end of the day, if the shit isn't that solidly like written, which some of it was just goofy, our energy together and our joy of each other and our presence is going to translate enough to people and make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's more about the feeling, being able to convey the feeling. That's what people are trying to do when they just like write, but they're just like in their heads trying to create a feeling versus out of their heads trying to create a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I honestly feel like I've only recently tapped into that.
But you do stand up too, which I've done like once, and it was like, eesh, like I can't.
That like, would be more in your head, but also out of your head. It's more of a balance between the two.
Like I feel like I need more solid jokes before I could just be myself, just because it's such a judgmental craft. It seems like you kind of have to care what people think more.
It is confusing. I don't know. It's confusing.
Like if you don't fully commit to something, it's like you feel judged.
Like you have to be so sold on your own bit. Even if you're not sold on it, you have to get yourself into the headspace where as you perform it, you're sold on it in order for it to work. It's a weird level of doublethink where it's like, how do you know? You don't. You almost have to fake it till you make it to see if it's working.
Yeah, and like I mean, the joy of like, we stopped doing improv and started doing more sketch or like parody raps and things like that because it's more tangible. Right. We didn't like the ideal of having a bad show and that's what people saw or this and that. But it's like at the end of the day, if I walk off the stage and it's like, it's me with Zoob or someone who will see if I created something with you and we liked what we did, that's cool with me because I'd say you were great and I'd hopefully you say I was great. But versus stand up, you walk off the stage and get judged by all your peers. You're not going up to your homeboys like, oh yeah. They're just like, when's my set? Like, don't they just look at you?
You're right, it is cattier. I don't know. I guess I always just, I don't know. Maybe like, I'm decent enough at it that I believed when people liked it. Like you can tell when people give you feedback because they feel obligated to, or when they go out of their way to go, oh, wow, I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Get enough of those in a row, you're like, okay, cool. Well, there must be something I'm on to.
But you don't. Do you ever walk off the stage with the like mentality of, well, fuck y'all, that was funny? Like if they didn't like anyway, yeah, like, well, yeah, like it, fuck, like, yeah.
Because I also think like maybe it also depends on the stand-up. Like I don't need to make everyone laugh personally. Like I don't really care if a certain audience doesn't like me. Like if I don't like the audience, I don't really care about them liking me.
Yeah, I get that. I don't like you either.
And honestly, that's happened to me a lot, like kind of, especially in the first few years where there's basically no stakes regarding like getting paid or impressing other comedians who could help put me on more.
Mm-hmm.
But I performed for the first time at a like New York Comedy Club show this past weekend. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like a new level unlocked. Like the audience is paying.
Yeah.
But the stakes are different. Even if I don't like the audience, hypothetically, which by the way, I did, they were the sweetest, like almost too sweet to perform to. I was like, I can't say anything dark to these people. They're so innocent.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like a Free Brooklyn crowd. I was like, there is like a different kind of responsibility towards the audience that you're like now just like a professional in a way of like,
you have a job to do now.
And then I also can appreciate just like that. I think that's an art in and of itself of like, even if I'm not feeling the audience, you know, how can I like use my skills to meet them energetically with my material? I enjoy it now. I don't think I would have been able to enjoy it until now. So
yeah, I feel like it's like, I remember I used to, when I started doing more corporate gigs, DJing, and it was like, I used to be like, I'm doing this whatever corporate event through someone, and it's like, I have to bring my, you know, like you said, you see me before and it looks more analog. Like, I have to bring my real turntables. I have to bring this because I'm a purist or this and that and all this gear, which at this corporate event, nobody gives a fuck what I'm using. Just play this music. And like, for a second, I was like, well, I'm DJing to make money. It's not really, and this is the job. Like, this is the job side of my DJing versus the art side of my DJing. Versus like, I mean, I'm sure some comedians, you might get a gig where like, I mean, a clean set, you know what I'm saying? Some comedian would be like, I don't fucking, well, these are my jokes. My jokes are my jokes. Well, you got hired to do a clean set. This may not be what you do, but this is what you're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, it becomes like, once you're mature enough, you get to be a little more grown up about it and be like, okay, cool. You're not it. I mean, especially the way I like really started growing into my own in stand-up was producing my own shows where I basically got to curate both the performers and the audience.
That's so great. So
I was able to just be like straight up feral.
Is that because the performers were the audience? Is that how you got to curate both?
No, I just think I'm pretty comfortable with people who know me. I don't feel like, oh no, like the people who know me, will they judge me? I'm like, I love them. They love me. Like, I can be myself here. It's like,
you can do no wrong with the people that know you and love you.
I don't know what it was. I just felt more comfortable performing to people whose taste I already understood because it was aligned already with mine. And like, I took pleasure in like introducing them to comedians I just liked. I was like, I know I like them. Like, I know the taste of this crowd. Like, I know these and that was like a really nice way to like build confidence. But, you know, it was cool to just take that momentum from doing that a lot into different rooms and like learn how to make small tweaks and compromises. Guess what, Sarah? You can't, it's almost like a control freak thing. It's like, it's cool that you were able to like know the room that well because you created like it from both ends, but you know, like put on, like take off your like floaties and like swim in the ocean of like, you know, not being able to fully control all the energy in the room. And so you can like be open to the energy in the room and like return it or meet it. Because honestly, you know, that unknown is what gets me in my anxiety mode. I think here's the breakthrough is like when I knew the room really well, I had no anxiety. When I don't know the room as well, there's a little anxiety. Well, what kind of person are those two?
Yeah, that was
figure it out faster and in the moment.
I think I missed that. I think that was the most fun I've ever had was producing shows. Like we had a really good run doing our show at Bazaar Bar, Zub and I, where it's like, it was great because at the time, a lot of comedians and stuff producing these shows there's two things we had quarrel with was, one, it was always at comedy venues. So it was just like, you know, pretty much comedians performing for comedian crowds. And then two, our quarrel was they'd list variety shows, which would be stand-up, improv, character, stand-up, improv, and we're like, that's not really a variety. So when we started doing Bazaar Bar, first they had a built-in crowd already, like a bar people who probably did not want to see a comedy show, but like the bar itself was home to a lot of performance art and burlesque stuff that we would do there too. So, you know, we'd have our magician, we'd have like a lawyer.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, or like fucking like some dark, like real dark performance art shit that was like me and Zub thinks it's hilarious because the context of it, because it's not funny, but it is serious.
That's why it's so upsetting. It creates laughter or something.
Yeah, or at least for us, because like people were uncomfortable because like, and then like, but then like other comedians who like where we'd get on our show were like they loved that environment because they weren't. You had to actually work in that room too, but then also it was welcoming. People would get heckled sometimes, which was great too, because like we just let it ride.
But
It was awesome.
only comedians are tight about heckling. Like basically all other performers like sick audience engagement. Like
Yeah.
I ran into that issue a few times at the show I produced. There was other artists who would sometimes heckle the comedians. The comedians would be like, I'd be
You
like,
can't, yeah.
I'm sorry, these people are normal and not
You gotta,
like,
yeah, you gotta deal with it, kid. It's like, and then it's funny because that almost became part of the show too, because there's one specific guy, this guy named Ulysses, rest in peace. He passed away a couple years ago, but he would sit in the same spot in Bazaar Bar. And like, if like one of our, it's usually the stand-ups, only the stand-ups bomb. No one else bombs. It's always stand-ups. So that's why we actually were hesitant to put stand-ups on sometimes. They have to be really weird or like really like off, you know, atypical or whatever, like to do it. Cause like almost that became a part of the show. Well, Ulysses is gonna heckle you. He almost became like
he's
and
the
that's
performer during the stand-up space.
yeah, like just kind of like fuck you and like you suck.
Wow.
Kind of laugh. But like it was that only happened a couple times, and it's actually funny to a one asshole who actually got kind of me too'd out of the community. It happened to him multiple times, so it's kind of okay. It didn't happen to like it happened to the right person, but also it was a rowdy crowd.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be able to handle anything. It's more on the producer whether or not that tanks the whole show. I remember a few of these park shows were pretty funny this summer where like I'd just see like, you know, crackheads or alcoholics who are just chilling at the parks next to the comedy show, just dunking on every comedian, like like yelling. And
I love it.
I loved it. I'm like, they got nothing to lose. This is sick for them. Like, I love the way they're disrupting this, like,
this is their fucking theater.
Yeah, it really felt like the most wonderful, like I guess like like karmic gift to people in that situation that they got to ruin a comedy show.
It's funny too because it's like, I mean, well, that show is different, but it's almost like reverse crowd work. Like, you know how can we like fuck that? I mean, you know how comedians like go in on
you.
Yeah, you got the yeah, exactly. Like you can go in on everyone in the front row. Let my boy go in on you.
Yeah.
I mean, if it became too much, it becomes too much. But like,
I'll be honest. I always wish like roast battles could be more like rap battles in general, and there was more receptivity towards like I guess what's the word? I guess fighting, but also like flexing. Like what I like about rap battles is they're not just disses, they're also like, and here's what's better about me than you. Like I never see that in comedy.
Oh, that's a dope take.
Like the roast battles is just adding flexing into it. Comedians, I guess, are so insecure they could never imagine bragging about themselves. But
nothing wrong with me, but you, yeah.
Yeah,
like bigging up yourself.
Know why I'm here, frankly. Like that kind of vibe. I would love to be like too good for my competitor because I actually think I'd be a better like roast battler if I was allowed to flex.
Yeah. What do you mean if you're not allowed to flex?
Oh, well, no. It's always just how can you insult the other person better? Have you seen roast battles?
Is that the show?
Well, I just mean when comedians have roasts.
I think I've seen Boris, I think highlights on that dude Boris
Kagan.
Yeah, I think I've seen him do a couple like roasts, but I've never seen a whole one. Yeah,
I love how like we have a wonderful selective intersection in comedy. I've seen more roast battles, like The Stand is like a commonplace. A lot of comedians like try to like get past at clubs through like, I often think the roast battling scene, I mean, I'm speaking really out of my ass because I'm more of a Brooklyn person, but roasts are like a part of like establishing yourself in the club scene. And they all, the format of it is there's like basically no rhythm. It's just like, I'm going to read a list of my insults about you. And then they go read their list of insults back and read.
Oh yeah. It's not like off the top of the dome, like
yeah,
like the school playground or like a rap battle. It's like, you know who you're going against and you prepare it.
Yeah. Like I wish they were like a little more improvised and a little more rhythmic and a little more like when I'm finished, and like a little less predictable cadence, you know? Yeah.
So it's like in the style of an actual roast. Like you prepare and someone's there, but you go back and forth.
Yeah, they're not nearly as good as watching rap battles. I'm like,
it's like, yeah, because when you say roast battle, I mean, I assume
they also don't go as hard. Like they go hard-ish, but they don't go like as hard. They don't go as hard on the insults. It's just after you see rap battles, I mean, I'm just speaking from my own like new birth of this, of like watching them for the first time a few months ago. It was like, fuck a roast battle, really.
Yeah, there's a lot more higher stakes in rap battle too. Like people get shot and slapped and punched because it's usually like not like you know where it comes from, not on TV, but like you know where it comes from.
Well, you can educate me now.
Look up this styling on you video. It's just look up styling on you. So you mad because I'm styling on you.
Yeah.
This guy's like in the middle of a rap battle and like he's getting them, he's killing them.
Just to speak with me.
Oh, you got it? Yeah.
I'll check it out later, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But like eventually he's like, the guy's like losing the rap battle and he finally goes, you mad because I'm styling on you. You mad because I'm Ryan. You mad because I'm, and then the guy just clocks him in the middle of his thing. And then like you see the guy like reaching his pants, like he's going for a gun or something. It's crazy.
Oh man,
but,
that's so scary. I saw a sort of a similar confrontation about a chess game in the subway.
About a chess game?
Yeah, there were these two really good chess players on the D train this weekend where like one of them was like basically putting the other into checkmate as we like crossed into Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like trash talking became.
This is on the train? They were playing chess? Tight.
Yeah, I know. And it was great. Anyway, I was like a little worried it was going to get physical because he was really talking such. I was like, ooh, he should be afraid. And there was like a bunch of audiences. He even started acknowledging, like, look, everyone's looking at you while you're losing, like you're my bitch, like type shit. Ooh, scary as hell. But like, you know, the one guy like did really win, who was talking all this shit. But then the guy who lost took it with such dignity, but also had kind of like
it's a noble game.
Things to say and like started performing for people with their phones out.
Like, what do you mean? What started performing for people? Like,
I guess just people pulled their phones out because this like verbal fight between the chess players was interesting. And it was just, I don't know, it was like really cool the way they pivoted like chess into kind of like a verbal, like a roast.
Tight. I didn't know they were doing chess on the like, so it was like set up in the middle.
I just think it was cute. They were literally playing on the ground.
They were just on the ground, tight. Damn, the subways are wild. They playing chess now.
Yeah, it's very cool. I haven't seen that. I've only seen it in the park, and I find chess so interesting because you have to be so smart to play chess well. And it's such a like classically masculine way of proving your intelligence. Like no women are out trying to flex on each other with chess. There's something about men and chess that.
You know what? I've never really noticed that. I mean, like we always have a chessboard set up in my house. Yeah. I wouldn't like a first game with someone usually because I play reckless and fast and like it just throws them off. And also I'm usually playing to stalemate. I'd rather both of us, if neither of us win, I think I've won. If I can force you to not. Like I'm playing to stalemate, but then
satisfy you or force an uncomfortable moment, you've won.
Yeah, like if neither of us, yeah, I'm good. But like the next game, they realize I'm playing reckless and usually beat me. It's when I like playing it, and I do talk a lot of shit during it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Even with games like pool, like I don't really mind like winning. I just more enjoy like performing cockiness, like when people.
Yeah. Do you play pool?
I mean, I'll play anything. That's the thing about my personality. I'm not good at much, but I just have a lot of spirit. And
I got a hot tip for you, bad girl. If you like pool, so this is one of the new vibes going on after hours during quarantine. There's this place called Pool Shark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's no promo, but you check it. I mean, we abused it a little bit.
Promo is a funny.
No promo. No, yo, no promo.
No promo, but.
Yo, no promo, son. No promo. But like you pay like them like $60 for like 2 hours or 3 hours, or no, like 2 hours or some shit. But you can go after hours, like I'm talking like midnight to like 5 a.m. and rent out these rooms in like Williamsburg and stuff. And it's like up to like 8 people, and it's just like a pool table, a TV, and a refrigerator. We've fucked it up a little bit sometimes because like, you know, our 8 people turns into 16, and then like they have cameras and tell us we need to get out in like a half an hour. And so, but if you do it right, it's, you know, if you're ever looking for like a late night pool thing, it's Pool Shark, where people go to play chess. Really fun, really great. I approve of it.
They play chess there too?
I mean, not chess, but you can bring a chessboard. Excuse me.
They
go to play pool. You can do whatever you. we did whatever we want. You shouldn't do whatever you want, but
You can
if
take
they
the
let you,
vaccine there. You
huh?
you can take the vaccine there.
You can take the vaccine there. Yo, it's a free for all. But yeah, that's if you want it. Like but shit's pretty much opening up again now, so I don't know how long it'll last. But like, months ago it was like the thing because like shit was closing and we still wanted to kick it.
Cool. I would do something like that. That sounds like a lot of fun. I need to maximize these deals while places are opening because I've heard a lot of like there's a lot of Groupon deals for recreational things right now because businesses are trying to rebuild their customer base. Like dance classes, for example.
What kind of dance classes are you trying to get popping?
Listen, I love like in general modern heels and dance hall. Those are always my vibe.
What's heels? Is that something else? Or you said modern heels?
Just like, just
like ballroom?
Just like I guess it's like hip hop, but in heels. Just more like performative femininity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heels on the ground, you're like,
A lot of thumb biting. Was that a last?
Yeah, like it's a lot about just like this performance, and it's like voguing kind of, but with a little more dance involved.
Nice.
It takes elements of voguing, but it's not just like
drop into the floor.
Definitely like extreme moments of like dropping to the floor. That's fun. I mean, it's just really, really great stuff. I used to love going to Broadway Dance Center and Paradance, taking those classes. RIP. They're all online now. Those places are online still. So gotta find new places.
Yeah, I always wanted to take a hustle. You ever heard of the hustle? You should.
What's that?
It's like I think the song, I'm pretty sure the song is based off of it. Do the hustle, do the hustle. But it's a lot, but it's not as campy and cheesy as that song suggests. It's just it's partner dancing, but it's just like I think they used to do it in Harlem back then, like a lot of like it's just like it's not like super stiff, it's a lot of style with it, but like put that on your after you watch that guy getting knocked out, watch some people doing the hustle.
No, partner dancing is kind of interesting too. I definitely kind of like the idea of doing it, but I'm like afraid of like the fact that you have to like be entangled with a random man.
I mean, I guess, but like also you can just go find someone to go with.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to deal with these random men, Sarah.
I know. I just like doing so many like of my leisure activities solo.
Yeah.
Probably it's an only child problem.
You're an only child?
Yeah.
You have like cousins close to your age, or are you like straight up only child?
I have one cousin in Germany. I met him the first time when I was 14. I shook his hand and our family yelled at us because we're cousins and we shouldn't shake hands. We should.
That was too close?
No, like
too much contact with your cousin?
No, it's just too little like geniality or whatever. And then I have two other cousins in the States, but they're like 15, 20 years older than me. So they're more like aunts.
Yeah. I was just talking about that the other day, like old ass cousins feeling like they're
cousins. It sounds like feeling ass pussy like sequel, old ass cousins.
Yeah, old OAC. Old ass cock. No, old ass cousins. Who would do that? Who would have to do old ass
old ass cousin is I really think it'd be really funny to just like map the concept of old ass cousin over wet ass.
Yeah. I feel like that's something I want like Lil Nas X to do. Old ass cousin.
Yes. Talk about him. He's so
the memes and shit he be doing when he be coming back on people like eating popcorn and stuff. Like when people ever like hate on him and like his reaction videos are the best.
He's really one of the funniest people because he really doesn't give a fuck.
He don't give a shit
with himself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, his TikTok really makes me laugh. Have you looked at it?
I haven't. I'm speaking of old ass cousins. I guess I'm like an old ass cousin now because I get all my TikTok from Instagram Reels. Yeah. I don't know how to fuck with TikTok yet, so I gotta wait for people to.
You could easily do like stuff on there and just grow your bullshit if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Post that.
Post it.
Post it. Cool. Well, thanks for coming and chatting. I appreciate it.
Yo, this is great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's unite in real life sometime soon, especially now.
Yeah, let's reunite in real life. You're not gonna you're like you said, last time I saw you live and in person, you were all COVID-y, and now you're less COVID-y.
Exactly. Are
It's,
you still
yeah.
working where you used to work, or?
Yeah, I'm still at the spot in Crown Heights, and actually, I just started again at one of my old jobs, bartending jobs that I lost last year. One of my ones that provide the health insurance back in the city. So that's a whole new weird vibe, like having to be there for people to actually like to go to Manhattan and have this other, like, it's a lot more structured than the Crown Heights job. So that's weird getting in back into that, but it is what it is. And yeah, but the place you can, the place where all your homies come through, which I haven't seen them much either, but I'm still there.
Cool. Well, I'll come by sometime. Thanks for
Mhm.
coming. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll be here still so we can debrief.